everybody. It's Kelly and
Kathy.
with Away We Go 2.0. This is a big day for us. We just left the Salt Lake City, actually Layton, Utah, but it's a suburb of Salt Lake City, Hill Air Force Base. We are headed north. Today we're going to Craters of the Moon National Monument or National Preserve Recreation Area. Can't recall. It's not a national park, it's a national preserve or recreation area in Idaho. So anyway, Craters of the Moon. So sit back and enjoy the ride. Glad you're coming along with us, and stay tuned. Catch you down the road. All right, so we made it to Craters of the Moon National Preserve / Monument, or National Monument and Preserve, I think is the actual name. But this is it. It is a ancient volcanic lava flow here near Arco, Idaho, ARCO, Idaho. You can see a lot of just volcanic rock here. Pretty standard issue volcanic rock. But they've got the campgrounds are literally right dead center of some of the lava flows. Let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. Got RV park over there. They got tent camping over there. So it's pretty neat. I mean, you definitely get in touch with nature here. But anyway, it's a really neat area. Gonna go see what there is to see over here and get you guys informed. Plenty of, well, I'm gonna say plenty, but there is RV parking here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or so, and a handicapped RV parking, and they've got some over there beyond us on the side over there. So let's go inside and see what there is to see. All right, Kathy's doing her thing.
So you are meant that's the training that we have to use this question. Yeah, well that started in the East Coast about 10 years ago. It has spread all the way to the West Coast. It's built about 9 million backs in the country so far. So we just need to screen that process.
What did you find? Dun dun dun! The penny smasher. All right, the search begins for the best imprint. Actually, Kathy's got a very impressive collection of squished pennies. Does she have a good penny? All right. She's made her selection. She's put in her money, her 51 cents. And there she goes, destroying American currency. And there it is. You're official. Now you're really official. You got your stamp, your magnet, the sticker. Well, after viewing the video they have at the visitor center, the last eruption was actually only about 2,000 years ago. And it's a series of calderas that lead from here to the Snake River, from here, which is the Snake River Basin, over to Yellowstone, which is where the current hotspot is. So it kind of creeps along like the Hawaiian Islands did. If you've ever looked at the Hawaiian Islands, there are a series of dots in the Pacific, and if you follow that chain, it goes all the way up into the Pacific. leading to, for example, the Big Island, which is the newest of the Hawaiian Islands. And Kilauea is there and doing its thing, and it's open year-round. They've got RV parking here. It's water only, $15 a night. There is no entrance fee to the park, so that's a good thing. Well, I was wrong. There's not a fee to get into the visitor center. There is, however, a fee to get into the park and drive around or whatever. $20 per vehicle, motorcycles $15, $10 per person if you walk or drive through. And of course,
bicycle.
Or bicycle, yes. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Walk or bicycle through, yeah, $10 a person. And then, of course, they do take the passes and all that here, so I was incorrect. So they have about 250,000 visitors a year here, and I believe it. I mean, it's really busy here. So, Kathy, I think you came up with a good one. Kathy picked this one. I didn't know it existed, for whatever it's worth, but she picked it, and here we are. So, good on you. Yeah, and what are we going to come back here in the wintertime though?
He says he wants to, but we don't do snow.
Yeah, this gives a new meaning to snow.
People do come out here and they go over the what's the one thing they said they go over? The cones.
Yeah, the different cones, and you can. There are caves you can go into here. Trails, of course. Those trails in the wintertime, those trails are converted to ski trails. And a lot of backcountry skiing goes on here. So again, this is a year-round park. If you want to go well, I guess you can snowboard, but you can go skiing, cross-country skiing here in the wintertime. And so truly a year-round adventure. So we thought we'd get some quick video here. We are going to drive around the park. There's about a 7-mile road, which is probably that you can drive around the park and see a lot of stuff as well. So we're going to do that. Just saw an artist back there painting a picture. We're in an area right now called Devil's Orchard. A lot of vertical rock formations sticking up and so forth. But another thing is honestly, if you've got anything more than probably, I'd say 35 feet, we're 27 feet. If you've got anything more than 35 feet, I wouldn't bring it back on the trail here. Now, you're probably more confident with your driving skills, and that's fine, but just a little word to the wise, be aware of that. Another good point I think about Craters of the Moon is that not all, but a lot of their trails are guided tours. They have a ranger that will go out with you year-round, go out with you and take you around, show you where to go, where not to go, especially if there's some safety issues. There's some areas that you can go that are, they're a little dangerous, if you will. Obviously not dangerous enough to stop the tour, but enough to where you really kind of need to have some guidance, no pun intended, so you have a guide. But really neat area here, recommended. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say it's a 7, just because it's really unique landscape. Again, among the newest, like the mountain ridge out there is just beautiful. It's 55 degrees today, June 9th, which is, I'm sure, more the exception than the rule. But anyway, if you're into geology, volcanology, hiking through landscapes like this, come on out. But it's a pretty good place, and it's reasonably priced, and you get a lot of bang for your buck. So another interesting fact that we learned with the video in the visitor center is that NASA actually does use this park, the non-touristy areas, I presume, but does use this park to train. For example, now they're training for manned missions to Mars. Try saying that 3 times. They practice the communications equipment. It transmits up to the satellites, back down to a base camp, which is represented by NASA, which is represented by a base camp trailer. And they simulate, the equipment, the terrain, walking, how sturdy the equipment is, surveying. Anyway, another interesting tidbit they share with you at the visitor center is that although it sort of looks like a dead environment, not much to do here, you can't farm it and so forth, wouldn't want to build on it really, but there are, I believe it says 700 plus varieties of animal life here in the 750,000 acres that is Craters of the Moon. And I believe they said there are 300 or 500 different varieties of plant life here. So it's not exactly Kansas farmland, but there's a lot of life here. There's a lot going on here. As you travel the loop through the park, the vehicle loop and cycling loop, by the way, it turns into a one-way. So part of it is two-way to get you sort of into the area. Then I would say probably most of it though is one-way, and it makes sense, but just be aware of it. All right, so this is a pretty interesting area. I'm not going to videotape driving down. I know people are going to yell at me for driving and videotaping. I get it, fine. But this is an area I'm not going to videotape once we start. This is a 10% downhill grade, probably among the steepest we've been on. But anyway, if you do decide, like we did, to bring your toy with you, there it is. If you decide to bring your toy with you, just be mindful of the fact that, there's some steep hills and tight curves. We pulled over to the side here, let traffic go by, but that, I'll call it a mountain. There, you can actually park up here. I get my finger right. You can park up here and then walk up that. Get a little better view of the park behind us. Another thing about hiking out here, they've got trails you have to stay on that are essentially sidewalks through the lava flow. But you get out here on these, what we used to call lava dogs, D-O-G-S, lava dogs. And so if you get bold and decide to get off the trail, these rocks will ruin your day if you fall down on them. They're very sharp, almost glass-like in many ways. But so, when they say stay on the trails, they pretty much mean it. You get out here on these things and trip and fall, you will get hurt. Tear up your hand, tear up your elbow, your knees, whatever else you fall on. So, if you decide to do these things and whatever, just be mindful that, lava doesn't play. It's pretty, it's unique, it's interesting, but it's also dangerous. So beware.